This next segment is called Initial Objections. It took me a long time, probably about 15 years before one day, I don't know what happened, but I woke up to the fact that when I'm calling customers, when I'm picking up the phone going, "Hello, Mr. Customer, it's Kieran McGuigan here from XYZ Enterprises. I just wanted to blah, blah, blah." And you know what? The customer throws out an objection. "No, look, mate, we're not interested. Thanks a lot. No, really, no, we haven't got any time," etc. Yeah, I was getting that a lot, and I'm sure you get it a lot as well in your business. Everybody says these things. But it took me a long time before I figured out that, there's nothing new here. These are the same objections that I was getting 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And as I started to write them down, and that's something I encourage you and your colleagues to do all the time, is 9 times out of 10, the initial objection is false, particularly when you're on the phone and you're calling your customers. When there's a cold call, you're calling a cold prospect, you've never spoken to them before, that initial call is you're going to get, an objection. You're going to get rejected. Let me illustrate this. Look, when I'm at home and I'm sitting up with my feet up, I've got a beer and a remote control, and I've got the TV on. I'm in my perfect pose. That's where I want to be. And when the phone rings and it's my, let's say it's a phone call comes in and it's my mum, who just happens to live 13,000 miles away. But the phone rings, and I got to tell you, and I'm sorry, Mum, if you're listening, is that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to lie. I'm going to make an excuse. I'm going to say something like, "Oh, Mum, look, I'm just putting the kids to bed, or I'm really busy at the moment. Could you call me back maybe in half an hour or an hour's time?" Now, if I'm happy, if I'm prepared to lie to my mum, and I love her dearly, if I'm happy to lie to her, do you think I have any problems about lying to you? Do you think your prospect have any problems about telling you flat out lies? They don't think about it as lying, but generally speaking, the first couple of objections you're going to get over the telephone are lies. They are just trying to get rid of you because, let's face it, you're just an interruption. You're just getting in their way. They're in the middle of doing something, and the phone rings, they pick it up and go, "Yeah," and they go, "Uh-oh, I've got a salesperson on the phone." So, what do you do about it? How do you handle it? Well, if I said to you, that there's, and this is something I would love to have had 20 years ago, if I said to you, really, when you boil it all down, there's only 4 ways that customers can say no to you. Wouldn't that be valuable? If I could show you that there's only 4 ways that they can say no, everything else becomes a variant. Everything else becomes really just a different way of delivering the same no. Here they are. Here are the 4 key no's that you're going to get. And if you're in sales, by the way, you're going to get these forever. So don't you think you should learn how to deal with them? The 4 initial no's. No money. That's a classic. No time, no interest, and no need. No money, no time, no interest, no need. They are the 4 major ways that customers or prospects over the phone initially will use to get rid of you. And most customers, most prospects will use them effectively because the salespeople on the other end of the phone take it and say, "Oh, well, yeah, okay then. I guess I'll just go and call somebody else and get the same objection." I want you to go to the 3rd level, and that means we need to get the 3rd objection from the customer because that's much closer to the truth. The 3rd objection they give you is going to be the one that actually is their objection. And what that means is that if you can handle it, if you can deal with that objection, if you can help with them, address it, remove it, reduce it, you know what? They might even buy from you. They might even give you an appointment. But if you're dropping the ball every single time that they say no and you don't go anywhere, you're going to be out of business soon. So, okay, here it comes. I know this is a long segment, but it's worth it. So the next bit that comes along says, what do you say? If somebody says no money, no time, no interest, no need, in any particular order, what should be your first response? Well, Here's my favorite response, and I don't care what the initial objection is. My initial response is going to be something. And now, by the way, you got to do this with a little bit of humor in the back of your voice. If you do it too seriously, they'll hang up on you. With a little bit of humor in your voice, you just say to them, are you just saying that to get rid of me? Or are you just saying that to get me off the phone? Or I might even say it in a different way. I say, you sound a little bit stressed. You're probably just saying that to get me off the phone. And then shut up. You know what happens? It's a beautiful thing to watch or listen to rather. What happens then is when you deliver that line and keep quiet, they respond 9 times out of 10 by saying yes. Now, what just happened there? Think about it for a second. When the customer says yes, they're agreeing that they just lied to you a moment ago. They're saying, yeah, look, I'm just busy at the moment, and another salesperson calling me up. I really don't want to handle it at the moment. But the key thing here is that you've removed the first objection. It's gone. So are you just saying that? I call that my rust strategy. Are you saying that? R-U-S-T. So keep that in mind. First objection, rust. Now, my next favorite coming along is because after you get the first one, shut up, keep quiet, don't make a sound, okay? Then they'll give you objection number 2. Objection number 2 might come in like, yeah, but really, honestly, look, we don't have any money. It's a classic. So when they say, whatever it is, I don't mind, I'll usually use something like, this is the oldest one in the book here, feel, felt, found. You know that? Feel, felt, found. Here, it's in Sales 101. If you've been in sales for a while, you've probably heard it before. Maybe you haven't paid any attention to it, but it is a winner. Feel, felt, found is a 3-step strategy. So it says, look, John, I know how you feel. Many of my best customers also felt that way until they started using the new XYZ 3000, and then they found that. That's it. It's as simple as that, guys. It's a bridging strategy. It says, I know how you feel. We're talking about, I empathize with you. The next step, many of my best customers also felt that way. You're not alone. Other people have felt like this way until they started using this system, and then they found. Okay. Then, again, part 2, shut up. Don't make a sound. Let the customer give you objection number 3. And remember, this is the objection I want. I want to deal with this objection because this one is going to be closer to the actual truth. Okay, so let's say objection number 3 is, we're not interested. Now, what happens there when they say that? If you can hear that they sound frustrated over the phone, if they sound as if you're being pushy, the best thing that you can do is step back. I don't know if you've ever done any sort of martial arts or judo or anything like that. Years ago when I was a kid, I used to do some judo. And one of the key things I learned in that is that when an opponent pushes towards you, use their weight against them. That means roll with their weight rather than against it. So when a customer or a prospect's pushing an objection to you, take it on board and use it with them. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that when they say, look, and they're beginning to sound a little bit cranky or a little bit on edge, I want you to apologize. I want you to say, oh, look, Mr. Customer, look, I've just heard myself. Look, I'm sorry. I've just heard myself, and I sounded like a really pushy salesperson. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to give you a call today because we had a number of ideas about your business that I thought could be of value to you. At that point in time, shut up, because one of 2 things are going to happen. One is that they'll accept your apology and go, look, that's okay. Really, I'm just having a stressed out day. Or it's a no-go. And if it's a no-go at that stage, that's cool. That's fine. But most of the time, I've got to tell you, they'll step back. They'll accept your apology and say, look, that's all right. Look, we're just a bit stressed at the time. And that gives you a perfect opening to say, oh, look, well, maybe I should call you back, or we should organize a time when we can meet. It'll only take, whatever. If it takes 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you just say, yeah, there's nothing serious here. We've just got a couple of ideas that I think could be really valuable for you and your organization. Now, I know I've sort of hurried through a lot of things here in this initial objections segment, but it's really important because If you can improve your strike rate in terms of your opening statements and dealing with those initial objections, you will transform the number of appointments you get in the field and the number of sales that you generate from your prospecting activity on the phone. So you got to go out and practice this. So remember it. You want to get to the third objection. You want to get the first one, the 4 no's: no money, no time, no interest, no need. And then you want to set it up so that you know what to say when you hear it.